And despite the tribulations he went through in World War II, he was always a very kind, giving person, thoughtful of others, caring for others. And those two are qualities, but those also are qualities worth underlining.
Well, I just wanted to speak on my father's behalf, since he's not here, to thank you all for coming. I think it's our duty to extend that thanks and to let you know how he would feel if he was here. I think he would be blushing and very uncomfortable with all of the attention being poured in his direction, and would be much more relieved when the formal part of this ceremony is over, and to see all of his friends and family getting reacquainted after we've all gone through a very difficult time, not just our family, but all families over the last few years. And I think he, would, be most happy if we all took a moment to talk to the person next to us, and then if we went to lunch and had a hearty lunch. And I encourage you to take second portions today on my father's behalf. And so we really want to thank you all for being here, because it's, as the rabbi said, it's really an event that has multiple services to us as a family and as a community, and one of course is to honor my dad, but another is to help us use the lessons that my father taught us all to carry on, and also to look past the immediate aspects of the passing of a loved one, and instead sort of refocus our efforts after a year or two of contemplation to a life well lived with my father's best traits being exemplified every day. And so I wish that for my mother and my sisters and my brothers-in-law, and for my children and nieces and nephews, and for all of you, because we could all use a little more Fred Andermann.
Anyone else like to share?
Thank you. Of the many things that we'll remember about Fred, I think that one of them will be that Fred always had a story and stories. And some of these were true of his adventures in his youth. Others were more in the line of parables, like the soup at the Hotel Sacher. There was, in fact, a fairly lengthy in memoriam article published in a German journal by Professor Günther Kramer. And it was an extraordinary thing, partly because it was really a very loving tribute. And there was one brief passage that I translated to read out to you today, because he captured very much the essence of Fred and Eva, and particularly when it came to stories, because as you may remember, no story was really told unless it was told more than once. And this was about his memories of Fred and Eva at a scientific meeting in Europe, and this paragraph really captures it. It said, "This meeting took place in a small villa overlooking the legendary Hotel Waldhaus in the little town of Sils Maria, not far from St. Moritz in the Upper Engadine in Switzerland. Later, both of them made sure to tell me repeatedly that this event had a special meaning for them. Anne Frank, the Jewish schoolgirl who became world famous for her diary, who had been arrested in 1944 by the Nazis in her exile in the Netherlands, sent to a concentration camp, and who died of typhus soon before the end of the war, had spent her summer holidays of 1935 and 1936 with her Parisian aunt in this very same house. This was a wonderful Fred story. It captured his origins, himself, history, human nature, the scientific meeting, all in one brief moment. And again, it captured Fred because it was both of them, Fred and Eva, made sure to tell me repeatedly that this was the place that Anne Frank had spent his holidays in. No story could be told only once, and he took real delight in this part of his life. So this actually touched a chord with me, to a really very large degree, and I thank you for the chance to tell you about it today.
Fred, would you like to say something? Yeah.
I would just say one word. Friendship is a very precious gift that life gives us. And we don't have an English word for le hasard. It's fate, it's destiny. It just happened that the first day of university, we were paired together by the laws of the alphabet. Andermann, and the middle name of the list was Nadeau. So we were together. And that was our first day of university, and it started a everlasting friendship. I think it's a very precious gift.
Eva, was there anyone else?
But the thing that really touched me at the very end, when Fred was in hospital, and a little bit confused, and he thought that he was in Switzerland, I think, and on a train, and then I came in the room, and he said to me, Eva, I'm so happy that you came. It was just so very touching.
Thank you very much. Yeah, please.
Oh, sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
First, I would like to say bonjour, Dr. Fred. I think it's a nice day to meet all together to honor you. And on behalf of the neurological community, colleagues, patients, and students, I would like to thank you. I wish you peace and a rest in peace. Merci, Fred.